We mentioned Venezuela's deposed leader, Nicolas Maduro, made his first court appearance in New York, where he pleaded not guilty to narco-terrorism, conspiracy, and 3 other charges. Since Maduro's capture Saturday, there's been a wide range of reactions. While many are celebrating the dictator's removal, there are some who are questioning the legality of actions taken by the Trump administration. So was the U.S. operation out of step with the rule of law, international law, or our own Constitution? Or was it carried out properly? Join me now to discuss this, Dick Gregorie, who served at the Department of Justice for 42 years before retiring in 2018. He's best known for his indictments of Panama dictator Manuel Noriega and the Medellin drug cartel. He has also investigated corruption inside the Maduro regime. Dick, welcome to Washington Watch. Thanks so much for joining us.
Glad to be here.
All right, let's jump right into this. Many Democrats are decrying the president's actions, arguing that he needed congressional authorization. But it's been very clear, and we heard this today at the United Nations when Ambassador Waltz said that this was not a military action. We're not occupying a country. This was a law enforcement action.
Well, it does appear that there was a warrant outstanding for Mr. Maduro. The question was, is he the head of state? And determining who is a head of state is a diplomatic question, which is handled by the executive branch of government and not the legislative branch of government. So technically, when our Secretary of State and our president say you are not a head of state, which they have said since this administration started, then Mr. Maduro was not a head of state and not entitled to head of state immunity. Then as far as active state immunity goes, this is a question of whether the actions that Maduro took or what he was doing was not could not be prosecuted because he was the head of state. Now, if you think about that, if our president goes overseas or if he conducts some action which is totally opposite to what our government is doing, is that prosecutable as a criminal offense in a foreign country. And certainly if he's not acting as the head of state, he's not performing some a duty that he's required to do as the head of state, is that immune from prosecution? And the answer pretty clear to that is no. However, the U.S. Constitution, and in particular Article 1, Section 8 of the U.S. Constitution gives Congress the power to enact legislation which is necessary and proper to enforce government actions. So the question is here, it also is constitutionally required that if we go take military action, that should be run by Congress. That is, if we're going to declare war or take some serious military action, Congress should be informed and there should be some congressional action taken. So the issue here is that these acts that we took this past week, did that meet with the Constitution? And that question is going to be raised for some time.
Who will decide that?
Who would decide that? Well, this is a question that will start with the district court in New York and will work its way up, I'm sure, all the way to the Supreme Court.
All right, let's talk about the comparison between Noriega and Maduro. You were there. You were a part of the indictments of Noriega. What are the similarities? What are the differences?
Well, I think that, first of all, the U.S. already had a military in Panama. We were still controlling the Panama Canal at the time. There was a military presence in Panama, and the U.S. had some good reason for being there that was already set up. Secondly, Noriega was the military head in Panama. He was the head of their intelligence branch. He was Panamanian military leader. However, he was never made the head of the government. So, and the U.S. did not recognize him as the head of state. And also his activities with the Medellin cartel, which after the murder of the Minister of Justice in Colombia, the leaders of the Medellin cartel fled to Panama and were put up in Panama, that there was no active state immunity. He wasn't, Noriega wasn't doing something which was asked for by the government or passed by the government, and he wasn't a head of state. So I think there are some questions here. Maduro will claim, I'm sure, that he was the head of state, that he was conducting the government's activities, and I think those arguments will be made in New York. I don't think those arguments are likely to be upheld by the court in New York. I don't think that they will hold water. But,
all right, Gregorie, Dick Gregorie, we're going to have to leave it there. We're out of time. Thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate the insight.